Let me tell you about the time that I slapped my auntie and I lived to tell the tale. I gotta give you some context, set the scene, if you will. I am on a single bed on that is against the wall. I'm at my parents' house. I don't know. I want to say I'm somewhere in like middle school. Mm. Anyway, my mother told me you need to go do your homework, which is good. Someone should probably be telling me because at that time I did homework selectively because I didn't feel like it. Anyway, moving on. My aunt comes in and she's just like, "Hey, get down, clean this room." And I'm just like, "Well, yes, I will clean this room as soon as I'm done with my homework." Now, she could have been feeling some type of way because my saying I am going to clean the room did not feel like quite enough for her. So she went straight into no now. Now, pause. Why is my aunt being the one to tell me to clean my room? She was living with us at the time. I can't remember if she was newly to the country or what the circumstances were, but she was living with us at the time. And during the day, she slept on my bed. During the night, I slept on my bed because we had opposite schedules and we was trying to make it work. That's what you do for family, even if they're not quite family, because my aunt of no blood relation is what I'm saying here. Back to the story. So she's like, "Do it now." And you sort of cock your head to the side, like, I don't know who the fuck she think you talking to. But I was just like, I will when I'm done. Now the bitch at the end of my sentence was silent, but I think she heard it loud and clear. And because she heard it loud and clear, she came over to me and she slapped me. And I slapped her back. Now, I'm alive to tell this tale, which means I didn't die. Woo, one for me. But we were both stunned, shocked, and we were like, mouth agape. We were just like, oh shit, what just happened? Context again. Firstborn Nigerian-American child slaps Nigerian aunt in Nigerian parents' household? You don't expect life after this. And yet, I'm right here. I'm right here. So here I am, like, what the fuck did I just do? And she's just like, what the fuck did she just do? Because both of us understand at this time that there is a certain self concept that I am already supposed to have, right? I'm firstborn, I'm first gen. I know that my role is to be what my parents expect of me. One day to be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer. I am none of the above. Couldn't do it, couldn't, that's not my thing. But also to obey adults, to be a and really to be an example to my sisters, right? Like the eldest child's responsibility beyond being parentified beyond all belief is to be an example for younger siblings. And at this point, what kind of example do I set with my C report cards and with slapping my aunt? That I was just like, oh, and this is why I thought death was imminent. And now this death would have taken place in multiple ways. One of them would have been the death of life as I know it in America, because I don't know about any of you other first gen kids out there, but my parents like to hit it with the "will put you in Nigeria" as a threat. Right? Like if you can't get it together, you will go to boarding school in Nigeria where they will beat you very well. So I'm just like, oh shit. Oh Lord. She's just like, I'm gonna tell your mother. And I'm just like, oh shit. Now here's the thing. My mama, when she's upset, you're in trouble. I don't know what else to say. You're in big trouble. If mom is involved, you are in trouble. If dad is involved, yeah, you're still in trouble, but it takes less over there. With dad, it takes a little less. With mom, if you get her there, this is it. It's the end. I'm remembering the last ass whooping I received. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. This is the end. So she tells my mom, and my mom calls me, and I'm just like, I really don't. How do you defend yourself from I slapped my aunt? Because I don't have it. So I was just like, all right. Did you hit your aunt? Yes. Because what do you say next? I did, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't think I was thinking. I don't think that this is okay. I did. Ooh. You start doing that dance. You know you're gonna get your ass whipped. You start doing the dance. You are begging. You are begging. And my mom hit me with the, "It's not your place to hit adults, but you were not wrong." What? Huh? She further went on to say, "You're smarter than most adults, but you shouldn't hit them." Now, I told you I'm in middle school. I didn't hear the rest of her sentence. What I heard was, "You're smarter than most adults." What I heard was, "You're not wrong." I know she said it twice. Don't hit adults. That part wasn't my business. I'm looking like I'm smarter than most adults. I was just like, well, then adults discipline unruly children. And she was behaving as a child. So I couldn't have been wrong anyway, and I'm smarter than most adults. I put her firmly in the "I'm smarter than you" category. So I'm looking like, okay. That was the day my self concept changed. That was the day that I saw myself differently, because it's like we were both shook and shocked as shit to hear my mama say, "Smarter than most adults." And she kept reinforcing it. After that first time she said it, she kept reinforcing it. She kept saying it again and again and again. And despite the fact that she was there, the auntie was there when it was said, me and her had a whole other run in at a whole other time, a story for another day. But the point is this: on that day, what I knew to be my role, what I knew to be my goal, shifted. What I'd known was that my job was to serve as a good example to my sisters by way of my grades, by way of my behavior, and by way of pursuing what my parents wanted for me: doctor, lawyer, engineer. That was the day where my mom gave me permission to take my life into my hands for myself, because if I'm smarter than most adults, you best believe what I really heard was, I'm smarter than all adults, parents included. And because my parents were included, them wanting me to be a doctor, lawyer, and engineer was only engineered for foolishness. And it gave me the strength to look at it and be like, but is this what I want? Now, it took me a little bit of time, but I did eventually get there. And in that, I had the strength of self from a community standpoint. I'm like, it was given to me by my mom. I wasn't alone in thinking I was smart. My mama thought I was smarter than adults. It meant that when I had a run-in with a whole different auntie when she was dating my uncle, and she was just like, "Who do you think you are? You think you are smarter than me? I'm an adult." I was just like, "Yes, I do think I'm smarter than you." Unironically. And she's just like, "Who told you that?" My mom, who I think is smarter than you. So if she's smarter than you and I'm smarter than her, I'm definitely smarter than you. So it's like, be gone, lady, be gone. What we know about ourselves greatly impacts how we feel about ourselves. For too many of us, we have been taught who we are based off what somebody else says. You're somebody's child, someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's sister, and you never get to be a fullness of who you are, even separate from those connections. And then you're trying to have self-esteem about a self that is not you, but the self that you pretend to be, because someone else said that this self would be better, because someone else said that this is what a child is supposed to look like. This is a child's place. That you are a good child if you are seen and not heard. If you have no voice. When you are present, that you look the way they want you to look. They love it when you're more mature for your age, because it's inconvenient for you to be the kid that you were, for you to be the you that you are, and still be thought of as lovable. It destroys our self-concept. and it harms our self-esteem irrevocably, or at least what would seem irrevocably. In that one conversation, and of course in the conversations to follow, my mom helped me to change my self-concept. I got to see that I didn't have to be limited to whatever boxes that she and my father had created for me based off their own desires for me. And I'm not saying that their desires for me were wrong. I'm saying that their desires for me were theirs. Those desires belonged to them. And quite frankly, I have been known to say it, and I'll say it here, I'll say it again. You don't owe your parents shit. Somebody didn't hear me. I'm going to say it one more time. You do not owe your parents shit. Yes, they gave you life, but they are a door. Yes, they clothed you, but they are a door. Yes, they fed you, but they are a door. I want you to hear the part where I say your parents are a door. They are a portal from which you come to life. But when the life goes through the door, the life is not owned by the door. When you walk through doors, does the door own you? No, that sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. Now, it is from love and for some, high key, low key, from obligation that they keep you in clothes and food. Right? It's because of obligation that they may send you to school and church. And yet your life is not forfeit because they gave it to you. They wanted a child, you were that child, nothing is owed. They are a portal. They do not own you. And they can have an idea of who they believe you could be, but you are not obligated to change everything about you, to hide pieces of you as though it is your duty to be who they want you to be. That is how shame is cultivated. Shame, not guilt. Guilt is I did something wrong. Shame is something is wrong with me. It's the pieces of us that we try to hide because, yeah, well, that's just not acceptable. That's not what a good child would do. That is not what a good sibling would do. That is not what a good worker would do. That is not what a good lover would do. There are pieces of us that we learn to hide, that we now feel shame about. And in that shame, you know what we don't have? Self-esteem. It's very hard to like yourself if you feel that the self that you are must be hidden. If the only self that you can be is what someone else said is acceptable. It's bullshit. Respectability politics are about how Black people as a whole try to make ourselves palatable to whites. Desirability politics, in many ways, are the ways in which women are supposed to contort themselves in order for male others specifically to find them attractive. It's another way of us adhering to a different type of respectability politic. Quite frankly, we all become pick me's. We're saying pick me, choose me, love me, by way of not being you, by way of not being yourself, by way of not showing yourself, of not having any vulnerability, of hiding the pieces of you that you might have been proud of and that you might be able to find connection with. It's part of the reason why you feel so damn lonely. It's easy to feel lonely, not alone, when you are pretending to be something that you're not in order to satisfy somebody who, quite frankly, was either a door or doesn't matter very much. My mama opened the door for me to see my life very differently. I really have no idea where I would be right now if it wasn't for that. If it wasn't for hitting my auntie. So I'm looking like, thank you, auntie, for putting your face in the way of my smack. Thank you for taking that hit like that. Yes. Maybe not so nice to her, but I mean, she lived, I lived, we lived. There is an auntie in your life. There is something that you can let go of. There's something that you may need to confront that helps to move you toward the you that you are, toward your authentic self, toward loving you a little bit deeper, toward liking you a little bit deeper, toward knowing you a little bit deeper, so that you can like it, so that you can discover things about yourself and fall so very deeply, irrevocably in love with yourself. And it's going to be hard for you to do that while you're pretending to be someone you're not. While you're trying to pretend that someone knows more about you than you do. Every time I hear somebody say, I know you better than you know you, no, you don't. No one knows you better than you. But I do know that you are pretending. I don't have to know you very well to know that. I don't have to know you very well to know that you cut your own potential off at the knees. I don't have to know you very well to know that there are things that you want that you don't say out loud, that you're scared that other people will hear about and judge you for. I don't have to know you personally to know that. But I want you to know I see it. And I want you to know that you can be so much more than you are if you choose to, right? Because ain't no one finna force you. I'm not finna smack you. I'm not finna make you get off the bed and get the cleaner. In the end of the day, it's really up to you. Now, this story is just one of my personal little pieces, little cups of tea that I pour in my book, Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. Smacking my aunt helped me to find my self-esteem. I want to know what the aunt is in your life that you need to smack so that you can find yours. That's it for now. Y'all are the bee's knees. Hit me in the comments. But if you want to tell me about how I'm wrong for smacking my aunt, you can come get some too. Smack, smack. These hands is free. Bye.